I'm gonna need y'all to understand something and understand it good. Thundercats and the Powerpuff Girls have been a huge part of my childhood growing up. As a 35-year-old man talking about cartoons, ain't nothing wrong with it. So, two articles we're gonna be talking about here: the Powerpuff Girls and the Thundercats. So, with that being said, we're not gonna waste any more time talking. I just want to get to the good parts. Y'all ready? New Thundercats animated movie officially confirmed by Warner Bros. So it's not going to be a TV show, but a film. And it was reportedly going to be live action, which I would have loved to see how they look. But the animation route seems the better version at this point. Nearly 4 decades after the original Thundercats animated series wrapped up, and 5 years after the most recent TV revival, Warner Bros. Animations has confirmed that a new Thundercats animated movie is in development. The announcement was made during the Annecy International Animation Film Festival, making the biggest piece of Thundercats news fans have received in years. While director Adam Wingard remains attached to the separate live-action adaptation, okay, so we are getting a live adaptation still. This is just a separate project, okay. That is still reportedly moving forward. It now looks like this animated feature could be the first new Thundercats movie announced. Well, audiences actually get this. The franchise had its complicated journey since the original series ended in 1989. Cartoon Network attempted to revive the property in 2011 with a more action-driven reboot that earned a passionate fan base but was unexpectedly canceled after just 1 season. And you know what? I've seen a little bit of the 2011 reboot. It is far better than what they're trying to do at the time with Thundercats War. Bruh, that show is hot garbage. I would not recommend any of y'all watch that travesty. Because I don't know what the person was thinking with this new animation style that looks like it's not being taken seriously. Which is something you see in Pocket Fighters, the game. So, Thundercats 2011 reboot is way better than the newer version, in my opinion. But I gotta say though, both the original and the 2011 reboot is really good. That's all I'm gonna say. Interestingly, the Lego line originally being developed for that series was eventually reworked into Lego Legends of China. Now here comes the interesting part, y'all, which I mentioned a few seconds ago. Then came Thundercats Roar in 2020, which took a much more comedic and stylized approach. While the series faced a wave of harsh criticism from longtime fans, both revivals experiment with a formula in very different ways, but neither managed to establish the lasting future of the franchise. And like I said, the animation looks terrible. It looks very, very cheesy and campy for the most part. And not to mention, this was during the pandemic, the darker years in the 2020, earlier on. That makes this newly announced animated film particularly interesting. One of the biggest concerns surrounding any Thundercats revival has always been whether it will stay true to the source material that it's trying to say that made the original series such a hit. I mean, the toys are coming out. Well, I think the toy lines have been coming out and they've always stuck true to the source material for years. So it wouldn't be surprising to me that either the live action version will do that or the new animated movie could also do the same. But honestly, if they do stick to the source material, I hope and pray that this animation film does very, very well. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Thundercats fan, I'm glad that they actually are doing some things with the franchise now. And yeah, I'm here for it. Now on to the Powerpuff Girls. Warner Bros. In talks for rights to Powerpuff Girls' Oz animated feature to develop. Warner Bros. Pictures Animation is in talks to get the rights so that they can make another animated Powerpuff Girls movie based on the hit Cartoon Network series. This was first teased during an animation segment at CinemaCon that apparently teased again at Annecy Today in the Warner Reel. Graham and Kraken created the Powerpuff Girls. The series premiered in 1988, became a global phenomenon and went on to win 2 Emmys. The Powerpuff Girls ran for 6 seasons until 2005. There was a 2002 animated feature which tanked at the box office with $11.4 million, and just over 16 million global per box office mojo. Powerpuff Girls follow genetically engineered superpower girls Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. They're from Townsville, where they live with their father and creator scientist Professor Utonia. They're often called by the city's mayor to fight crime. At one point, this is where they were talking about the live action Powerpuff Girls TV show on CW, which was trash, by the way. And the series never evolved and never picked off the ground in the first place, because this was pretty much back during the pandemic, I believe, or this was after the pandemic, because this trailer for the Powerpuff Girls live action was so bad, everybody was giving a harsh criticisms, and rightfully so, because whatever was that by the people who made the Powerpuff Girls, no, you should never touch it in the first place if you're not going to stick to the source material. What you should have done instead was stuck to the animation route, because that's what suited them in the first place and won them 2 Emmys at the time. So, major L. So yes, 2 of my favorite 90s / late 80s IPs are coming back to life in animation route. Though the Thundercats reboot is still in development live action wise, but the animation film makes a lot of sense. It's one that I'm mostly excited for, because I think Thundercats is one of the most iconic franchises that you don't want to mess up and disappoint, right? But in terms of how Warner Bros. Handles animations when it comes to iconic IPs, such as Team AT and Batman teaming up in that great animation film. It's on Tubi, by the way. And yeah, I love that movie so much. Yeah, it's pouring down like cats and dogs out here in DC. And what I was trying to say is that the Batman and Team AT movie was so good that it pretty much should have gotten a sequel. But maybe that's one of the main reasons why Warner Bros. Animations wanted to do the movies in the first place, with both Powerpuff Girls and Thundercats. So, yeah. So what y'all thoughts on 2 animation projects coming back to life by Warner Bros. Pictures? Let me know in the comments down below, and even when the articles to those 2, it will be down below. You already know what to do.